or Department of Defense, Directive 510555, Defense Commissionary Agencies, purpose of the end of the Secretary of the Secretary of Defense 113, 191, 192, and 2481, reference of the Directive, reissue of the reference over the date of the mission, organization, management, responsible for function, relation with the authority of the Defensive Commissionary Agency. Under Secretary of the Defense, personal readiness consists of the reference C to proceed with the reference D. Directive applied with the Office of Secretary of Defense, Military Department, Office of Chairman, Joint Chief of Staff, Combat Command with the Office of Inspector General of the Department of Defense and Defense Agency with the DoD effective activities. All organization with the Department of Defense hereof the referred to the DoD components mission of the Defensive Commissionary Agency to provide efficiency effective with the worldwide system missionaries, resale of groceries related to household items related to use price for the members over the uniforms over the retired movement, members dependent on such member that unauthorized patron with an enhancement of quality of life and support with the military readiness, recruitment, and retention. Organization management, the defense of the commissionary with the agency established the defense agency with the authority establishes the defense agency with the authority, direction, and control over the supervision of U.S. Undersecretary of Defense and personnel and readiness shall continue with the director of the supporting and the organizational elements shall survive with the director. The director shall report with the defense of the commissionary agency with the board of directors with the commissionary system governing board established for the section 2485C with the reference with the chair with the accountability Undersecretary of Defense personnel readiness through principal to deputy and Undersecretary of Defense personnel readiness responsibility and functions. Director of the Defense Commissionary Agency organizes direct manager of the day-to-day operation defense of the Commissionary Agency. Commissionary system assigned over the resale of the procure items of the resale of the ministry of the supervisor control over the program activities assigned with the Defense Commissionary Agency. Planning program budget design manage and ensure the execution of commissionary facility construction modification repair programs. Provide an operated defensive commissionary facilities under the standard with the consistent with the commercial food and monitoring emerging industry trends consistent with the quality of life principles. Plan and direct you with the commissionary stocks support mobilization emergency responses required. Establish a ministry of the civilian repair career management program. Include referral service development programs, commissionary management personnel. Ensure the defensive commissionary agency program activities are designed to manage, continue improving the standard of the performance, economy, efficiency, and demonstrate defensive commissionary agency's attention to the requirement organizational customers, internal, external, of the Department of Defense. Designate individual defensive of the commissionary agency of the military commander has not been designated to perform necessary action to provide facilities, physical security, maintenance of the logistics, administrative of the support, recover the effective of the operation, individual commissionary store of the defensive commissionary agency activity, inter service support with the servicing agreement consistent with DoD Instruction 4019 reference E. Such functions are provided under such agreement that include but are not limited to police powers expressly inherent with the granted military commanders within the necessary with the carry out of the protection of the defense personnel and property, perform other duties that may be the sum of the Secretary of Defense of U.S. Undersecretary of Defense personnel readiness chairman of the Defense Committee, Defense Commissionary Agency Board of Directors. Undersecretary of Defense personnel readiness shall appoint a director of the Defense Commissionary Agency with appointed chairman over the member of the Defense Commissionary Board of Directors according to the Section 2485C reference A. Establish policy reach over the Ministry of the Defensive Commissionary Agency with the reports by establishing with the issuing further guidelines of the military commissionary operations, making arrangements for the combat command to ensure the temporary operation control commissioner wartime periods of the heightened alert and coordinated with the chairman, joint chief of the staff, approve the strategical plan programs pertaining to the defensive commissionary agency, approve the establishment, disestablish commissioner with approval of the annual commissionary and construction program, authorize transfer appropriated coordination under Secretary of Defense, comptroller, chief officer of the Department of Defense, and with the non-appropriated fund instrumentality for operation commissionary store in accordance with the Section 2485B2 of reference A, oversee operation of the defensive commissionary system according to Section 2481C of reference A, under Secretary of the Defense, chief comptroller, chief financial authorize the U.S. Under Secretary of Defense personal readiness, account budget, funding, cash management, debt management, price surcharging policy of the defensive commissionary is coordinated with the transfer of appropriated funds according to 2485B2 and reference A. The Secretary of the Military Department shall enter into service agreement, support, servicing arrangement of the Director of the Defense Commissionary Agency with the designee will provide facility, physical security, maintain logistic administrative support where it affects effect of the Operation Military Commissionary Programs effectively agree with the Defensive Commissionary Agency with commended with the DoD component commands under inter-service support servicing agreements consistently reference with the provide facility good service agree with under paragraph 541, 543, provide necessary representation proper level of staff of the Defensive Commissionary Board of Directors, including annual funding appropriate measure share of the Defensive Commissionary operating costs in the program, objective of the memorandum budget estimated submission funds will be granted Defensive Commissionary working capital fund appropriation of each year of the prior to submission of the President's budget is the Congress relationship and the performance of the assigned responsibility function of the Director of the Defensive Commissionary Agency will report of the Defensive Commissionary Agency Board of Directors will be accountable for the Undersecretary of Defense personal readiness through the board using existing system facility service to the Department of Defense, other federal agencies when possible, avoid duplication, achieve maximum efficiency, economy, coordinate, exchange information, Undersecretary of Defense Principal Staff Assistant, and the headquarters over the Department of Defense over the components having collateral related responsibility function, Office Secretary of Defense and personal principal staff assistants over the head of the other DoD components provide assistance coordinate with the Director of the Defensive Commissionary Agency on all matters of their purview with related to the authority responsibility function assigned in this directive. Authority. The Defensive Commissionary Agency hereby delegated authority communicated directly with the head of the DoD component necessary for the carry out of the assigned responsibility function, including with the transmission required for the evaluation of the assistance communication military department is transmitted for the Secretary of the Military Department of the designated with the otherwise provided in the law of the Director, Secretary of Defense of the DoD, issuing the communication companion with the commanders that normally show with the training within the chairman and the Joint Chief of Staff, communication with the government official, with the representative of the legislative, with the branch members of the public, representative of the foreign governments as appropriately carried out with assigned with responsibility and function communication representatives of the legislative branch coordinated with the Assistant Secretary of Defense Legislative Affairs, Under Secretary of Defense, Comptroller, Chief Financial Officer as appropriate with consistent with the DoD legislative program, prescribed procedures stand with practice of the Department of Defense governing with the execution assignment of the responsibility functions contained herein and to the agreement of the military departments over the government and needs required to affect the performance of the military commissionary program. Retain reports and information consistent with the DoD Instruction 891001 reference evidence necessary to carry out the assigned responsibility function, except for the operational ministry of the authorities contained in Enclosure 1, Ministry of the Defensive Commissionary Agency with program budgeting, funding, and procuring, auditing, securing, principling, pricing, reporting activities in accordance with the DoD policy and procedure. The Secretary of Military appoints the Department shall assemble the military personnel of the Defensive Commissionary Agency with according to approved authorization established procedure with its instant assignment to joint duty. Releasability. Unlimited directive that is approved. This directive is approved for public release. Copies may be detained with the Internet DoD Issuance website, DTICWHS Directive, effective immediately. Gordon, England. Closure delegations of an authority and without the enclosure, we have read the Defensive Commissionary Agency, subject Department of Defense Directive.